Okay, so far I've gotten quite a bit done. I've really gotten, after doing the back one, I sort of got like a procedure down. Plus, I'm sort of just getting into the whole workflow of what I need to do, doing things. It's less of a figuring out what size goes where and how to do this. I already know that, so that actually saves a lot of time, which is really nice. It shows that I've kind of come a bit since I started working on this. Um, Now for out there, the black paint's going good on the lug nuts. It's just cosmetic. I took a piece from the plastic that holds in the wire here for the inside of the tub. If I figured, I had some more paint laying around for that. I don't need any more for the fender flares that I got it for, so I figured I'd just use it on that and any other plastic piece like that and come out looking good. And it is starting to look good, so I figured why not. And actually the truck bed liner, I used up most of that. There's still a bit in there, but it's actually looking really good on the front bumper there. There's some piece where it's peeling off where I just didn't sand too good because I was being lazy deliberately. I figured why put so much work into this if I'm not going to like it anyways, but surprisingly it's coming out really good, so I might have to really consider leaving that like that or doing it properly and doing both the bumpers, but that's still up in the air. It's just something I'm indecisive about. It's been one of those days. Hell, it's been one of those years. So I started going in here. I pulled back that plastic flap there. I didn't want to take out the whole thing because you can see it kind of goes around behind. I don't know if that's a shock absorber. Again, I'm still learning things bit by bit, but I'm learning. And these didn't have the drum that the back ones had, which I wanted to paint when I eventually go to take the back ones off again. But that was kind of weird, so I think I'm just gonna leave these alone for the most part. I don't want to mess with my brakes. I feel like they're a very important part of driving a vehicle 60 miles an hour down a highway. You know what I mean? So. I'm always thankful that the brakes work. Now what I started to do is I brushed all this out, cleaned most of it out. I'm getting it, as good as I can. The frame, there's really not a lot to reach. I mean, I'm going to get as much as possible. I'm really going to go to town on as much as I can. And I don't know about, I think that's the track bar. I'm not sure. And I don't know, it's going to come down to, I'm actually taking this in for a tune-up in a couple of days, and I'm going to ask the guy there I know about what he thinks I should and should not, code in POR-15. Because I'm not sure about what, like I said, like what I should and should not be coding, what I should and should not be doing here. But I started up under here, and you can tell this happens on all the fenders for, especially TJs, plenty of Ys. This happens. I see this a lot on TJs where the top here, look, you can see on mine, the top starts to rust out somewhere in here. Some guys get some big holes in here, and that kind of stinks. But and I already picked this up like this, and I knew this was here, and it's because they put this here. Now, here we go again with another hole that I can't figure out why it's there. You know what I mean? I don't understand why it was put there. So it's one that's got me. I mean, someone surely has an answer and could tell me, like, oh, it was here for this reason. It's just unfortunate this happens, which is what I figure is probably going on. But, we got this hole here, and there's a lot of crap. I'm going to blow a little bit more out here, but I'm just, right on the camera. I'm just going to go ahead and blow some of that out of there, get a lot of this out. And what I think I'm going to do is POR-15 up in here and to get some pour patch and just stick it over this because there's no reason not to. And then someday when I'm ready, I'm going to sand these down and I'm going to get something. I've seen it before. I'm going to get to it eventually where I'm also thinking about getting the armor for the front here, but I can't decide just because maybe it wouldn't match so well. And also my other fender there is tilted. So it'd be kind of awkward, but that's me going down a whole nother sidetrack thought. But the bottom line is, eventually I want to stop this from becoming a whole hole here because it'll just keep growing. So that's the idea of starting down here where the root of the problem is. So I'm going to be doing that. The other side's pretty more or less the same as this side. This side is actually better. The other side's kind of worse for up in there, but I blew a crap ton of sand out of there, sucked a bunch out of there. There was a lot in that pocket there. I don't know how that much sand could even get kicked up in there, but. And yeah, other than that, I'm going to just sand this off a little bit more, wipe everything down, and start applying POR-15 to it. And I'll do that, and I'll let you know how that goes. Look at that. That's pretty sweet looking stuff. I really do like kind of like a textured sort of finish, but you gotta appreciate that nice gloss matte. I mean, that looks like brand new right there. Really, like the camera's not even doing that enough justice. Like through my eyes, that looks beautiful, as if brand new. But so I went around. I got quite a bit of stuff. It's always kind of I start doing this and I start trying to take on more than I really need to do. I'm like, oh, I need to do here, and then it's like, oh, over here, and then oh, over here, over here, over here. But I'm trying to do things kind of like one at a time, work my way as I go. Obviously, plenty of areas I really could have gotten to that I sort of missed, but I mostly got everything. I decided, not to do anything here because I really wasn't sure what to do there, and I didn't go through further here. But it took me. It was daylight when I started. You know what I mean? It took me the greater part of the day to get what I got done. Also doing a few other little things on the side, so that also takes up time. But for the most part, it just came out really good. The throat was really getting up there. All this, I got the kind of like little rust areas I decided to hit because why not? I mean, the black covered up rust looks better than just the rust. I peeled this out a little bit. I decided to not go any further with that, but I just put that there for now so it wouldn't get too much worse. Because I kind of know what I want to do with that, but at the same time I don't just want to poke a hole through it before I'm ready to deal with it. Like I said, one thing at a time. But I got the frame curl, which has really been my main goal. Even like all this has been important to me. What has been important since I started doing POR-15 was to do the entire frame before winter, and I'm very much on track with that. The only thing I haven't done now, everything on the outer side that you can see just by looking from here, this kind of view, the frame is done. The only thing that hasn't been done are those really tough to reach areas, the top areas where a lot of those are going to be tricky to get to. I got to figure out exactly what I'm going to do there, and kind of some of the inside area, like if you kind of were underneath and looked outward. But other than that, I've gotten a lot of done. I would say gotten a lot of done. Yep, it's been that kind of day. No, I'd say I've got. I don't want to go too high of a number, but I'll say like 60% of the. No, I'll say more like 70. I'll say 70% of the frame is done, and a bit of the undercarriage. Everything that isn't part of the frame, but underneath. But yeah, my goal was to get 90% of the frame done before winter, and that'll be really nice to have it all. Not have to worry about that. Any of that from the outside, and plenty of this other stuff too. Other than that, I didn't do too much else. Let's see, like I said, the bumper here actually came out surprisingly well. It's got plenty of things here when you start looking closely. Just because of perfectionist, that's me. I nitpick every little detail, but this did come out good. I'm surprised. I do kind of like it, unfortunately, because that makes me want to do this better. Because I just kind of went at this lazy. I'm like, I'm not gonna like it, but I'm just gonna check it out. Turns out I did like it, so now I got to think about that. Meant to try to hammer. I tried to hammer the other. No, was it? Yeah, it was this side. I tried to hammer this out of it. Didn't really. Obviously took a hit at some point. Whatever. I wonder what happened there. It must have hit like a tree or something. But yeah, so I'll have to decide if I want to bedline these or not, because I can picture these bedlined and they would look nice, but then you gotta imagine I plan to put the extensions back on, and those are kind of like this textured stuff too, so I gotta think about that. I couldn't get this off again. I tried to take this off again. I don't know what I'm doing wrong with this. I think it's just really in there tight, because I've seen guys put them on top here, kind of like tusks, like they go right here, and I really like that look, but I got one there and I got one underneath on the frame there. And other than that, I did these. These are all set. I just did a last coat on these, and I'm going to let these dry. And then other than that, yeah, you look at this, you kind of look under here, it's starting to look really good. One thing I guess I should point out was some of like right here, I went over it again, that's why it looks so glossy here, but it was actually starting to fade a little bit, which is the first occurrence I've actually seen of it. I've heard about it. Some people have gotten, weren't too happy with it because it, POR-15, if you're not aware, is UV, what's the term? Susceptible, and it will it won't lose its effects of what it actually it does against the rust, but it will fade its color. It will lose that gloss black sheen, and it will turn to like a kind of faded, milky sort of black. And I know some people don't realize that when they start doing like a project, like they do their whole car in it, and then they realize, oh wait, that was a mistake because now I just need to paint it anyways. But yeah, this was like the only place, because everything else I've done with POR-15 is underneath. The sun can't really get to it very much. But right here, you can tell the sun can kind of beat down on it here. So that was the first place I was actually, I guess kind of here too. You can kind of tell. See the difference between this and that? Usually the bumper covers this, but there's a little crack here. So you can kind of tell like it starts to fade, and it is starting to fade. And that's not that big of a deal to me. Granted, I like the way it looks. But I don't know, maybe I'll look into something about just getting paint over it. That's an unfortunate side effect, huh? Maybe they'll come up with POR-16, and it'll be the same thing, but more expensive, and not fit against UV. That'd actually be really nice. But anyways, it's been one of those kind of days where I sort of ramble all day, so I'm gonna shut up. I got this done pretty nice. I am gonna eventually get in here again and do a little bit more. Probably in the future, what I'm gonna start doing is getting under here now that I've gotten the kind of the area where I needed to remove the tires. But, yep, that's going to be it for me today. Today was a job well done.